Hello there, and welcome to the episode 1 of the Joe HRG podcast, where I talk about random things and figure out what my opinions are on them. Or just give random opinions, honestly. That's my point. Okay, so today I'm gonna talk about music. And in general, I was thinking more of the alternative music, because I've heard, mostly at work, where I work, they'll play like an alternative station, and I get really confused as to why it's called alternative music, because for the most part, it's just normal music. It's very similar to what you hear. So, like, what's it alternative to? Because, like, anything you hear on it is basically just pop or pop punk crap that you hear on the radio. So it's like, what's the alternative to? What's it alternative to? Same thing with alternative metal. What's that alternative to? Like, it seems like they're just the same as pretty much the regular stuff. They just wanted to put like a little bit of title to it, or there's something slightly different that they put in it. I don't know. But to me, it seems like alternative music is just the same music that you person, would normally listen to and just like have fun with. So, yeah. I believe that is a very odd thing. And so, yeah. And probably the next part will be my talk about genres I hate. Because I do like to listen to many a thing in the music business, music genres, but I actually hate a lot. Specifically subgenres, but I do end up hating a lot of genres. Most of them have a reason of being not the greatest, or being something that I'm just not into, or not feeling. It usually boils down to just feeling or something like that. There's probably the first genre I'd say that I don't understand or don't like at all is the entire pop punk scene, because it completely betrays punk in all entirety just for being basically famous. I mean, there's some aspects of punk in it, but it's like at this point everyone's heard it. It's super produced, and there's nothing I can get into. And yeah, that's sort of it on that. It's just like, there's nothing I can really get into with it. And I just don't like the writing for some of the songs. I don't like their sound. Comes across like I am right now, actually. It comes across like kind of whiny. More like what my voice is, like complainy, whiny, ex-girlfriend dumped me sort of thing. Ex-girlfriend dumped me, girlfriend dumped me, whatever you want to call it. It feels like that. It's like the absolute not unnecessary, but you're gonna still listen to it anyway because your girlfriend broke up with you. Which also segues into my next thing. My next genre I hate. I call it the singing. Most people probably do. The emo, the scene, that crap, that ungodly abomination that needs to be thrown away and forgotten about forever, because oh boy, it's just it's a lot of the I don't know how to put it. It's just not in that for me. Not a lot in that for me, which is I don't know why, there's just not a lot in it. Maybe I think it's just a little too over dramatic for me. Maybe that's why. Or that I just think it sounds bad. I don't know. Something about it just seems to put me off. And that's the thing with genres I dislike. It's that they put me off in some sort of way. Or I just won't listen to them at all because I listened to one song once and I was just like, yeah, I can't really get into this. Which, be honest with yourself, is pretty much how you've done every single music thing you've ever listened to. You listen to one song and you decide if it's good or bad. Okay. Yeah, you're lying to yourself if you're saying you've listened to their whole catalog before you've decided if they're good or bad. No, you've just listened to one song and decided they're bad. But anyway, that's sort of like the thing. It's just like, I can't take that. I don't want that over dramatic look. I don't like the way they like. I don't know, they have this weird designer look and everything. Designer look? Whatever. Weird look. Really dramatic with makeup and all that, and then they play things about basically their ex-girlfriend. I said ex-girlfriend again. About their girlfriend breaking up with them. It's funny that I say ex-girlfriend breaking up with them. I never actually had a girlfriend. That's really funny though. It's funny that I say ex-girlfriend even though I've never had one. We'll just keep that as an ongoing thing. I'll just constantly say ex-girlfriend breaking up with you. Yeah, because that happens apparently. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Am I rambling? I'm rambling. Okay, back to the point. I don't like that genre, and to be honest, it has nothing for me. It does nothing for me, and it's just a bunch of suicidal attention seekers making music. Now, probably another thing I hate is all those, what do you call it, the core genres. The only good ones like grindcore, and then everything else is just like trash because it's just an off-brand version of the regular thing. Like there's like metalcore, which is just worse riffs than metal. Then there's deathcore, which is worse riffs from death metal. And then it's just spawned a bunch of subgenres that basically all sound not that great, to be honest. And it's very much the same of that sort of. It's very much the feeling that I get. There's a feeling I constantly get from those kinds of things that I don't like. It's that feeling of the girlfriend broke up with me, now I'm sad. I'm gonna shut up. You move on. Maybe that's just my personality. I might just move on from things too quick. Maybe I don't know. But that's just, I never liked that because that's what it sounded like to me. Just a bunch of people crying about how their girlfriend broke up with them, or how they're sad now and they want to die. I'm like, yeah, sure, I felt that way too, but I never thought musically that was something I liked. In general, music has probably played the least in anything. It's had the least effect on my mental health. All music has had the least effect on my mental health, because I honestly have a lens that goes over it where I just don't care in the way that so whatever message that they get across, anyone, it comes across, I read it, and then I basically ignore it to an extent. I mean, but yeah, that's a couple of the genres I hate. Let me think. I know I have like there's some other genres I dislike. And there's some genres where it's just like there's certain bands that I dislike or groups I dislike because of something. because of some reason, or because their like iconic thing is just actually super annoying to me. Like, yeah. And then there's the sort of art rock post punk thing, kind of. It's hit or miss. It's like on occasion I like a couple here and there, couple good songs, and then like everything else is pretty much just that. I don't like it. I'm not gonna listen to it. It's too much. But yeah, that's sort of the thing. That's more of a mood genre, where it's like I have to be kind of in the mood for that. And probably the funniest thing is, yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say there. Okay, probably the funniest thing would be that has no end line to it. There's no punchline, which isn't really funny. It's just terrible, like my comedy. Thank you. Now let me find my script. Okay, well, I ended up just pausing it trying to find a script that I did not write, because I definitely cannot write a script, and I would not be rambling on this much if I had written a script. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so those are a couple of my genres I like dislike in certain ways. I'm trying to think. And there may be a couple other genres I dislike, and I'm pretty sure I'm just making lumps and like lumping them together. And I'll probably get a comment talking about, oh, this, that, whatever. Shut up. You think your opinion matters, but in the grand scheme, I don't care about what you have to say. I barely care about what I have to say. You probably barely care about what I have to say, so yeah. That's where that goes. Other genres I might dislike in current country, and I don't say that as like the current country's bad, 90s was better. No, I mean like from pretty much 90 or, well, 80 on to now, country's been like dead. It's just there's nothing real to it. The folk aspect and stuff, the sort of thing that made it country is kind of gone now. It feels more of like, I don't know, a mashup of like stadium arena rock. Very, you get that sort of Keith Urban vibe. I think you get the same from like a Garth Brooks thing too, which is funny because my mom loves Garth Brooks. Yeah, I know I talked about my mom. Who cares? But I don't like Garth Brooks. I also don't like The Voice either. Whatever. Or any other I'll talk about those later in a second. Yeah, again, like I said, some country's good from like early on. And when I say early on, I mean like, I don't know. Country's kind of like been rooted since like the 30s, maybe even further back, but as far as I know, the 30s, in like folk songs, and then brought up into like I want to say like 50s or so. I can't really remember. 50s, 60s, 70s. That's when those are like the times in country that country was still country and like folk. I mean, there's still certain things like Bob Dylan going electric. That was kind of polarizing a little bit. But it still had its like, it was still folk song, because it was not whatever the heck Bob Dylan puts out now, but it is that. Yeah, so that's probably it as far as genres I dislike. Now, to say that they're bad, I don't know. I wouldn't say they're all bad. I'd say for a variety of reasons. I just don't like them. Oh, and there's one more I forgot about, but I'll get into that in a second. But it's just I tend to not like them, or it sounds kind of whiny to me. It just doesn't fit. Maybe it's just not. It doesn't fit with my mood, or really touch my mind, or something. I don't know. Another thing I probably dislike the most is like the psych bands. Now, I mean, there's some that are like 60s, 70s. Okay, that makes sense. Probably the cultural staple that everybody knows is that there were definitely drugs going around 70s. So I kind of give it a pass, but maybe not. But like current like psych stuff is just kind of bland. I don't know. It makes it seem like psychedelics are just one guy taking LSD once and then listening to a bunch of random stuff that doesn't really connect all the time or always hit the same way. I found that too. I've gotten a couple requests to play like Tame Impala songs, and I've said no because I have a big disdain for that. I mean, I like the psych music and stuff, but I like some of it, and it's very much like sort of like country, where it's like there's a polar spectrum of what I like to what I dislike on it, because it's really just kind of like a hit or miss thing. But yeah, there's sort of a thing I have with Tame Impala is that I just don't like them. It really does sound like somebody just put a bunch of like funk stuff together, almost funk. It felt kind of funky, but like they put generic riffs that kind of repeat themselves over something, and I've heard like one or two songs. I'm not gonna admit more than that, because obviously the reason I've heard one or two songs and judged them off that was because of the reason that literally everybody does. Don't even try to hide it. Like, literally everyone does that. That's not something you're not gonna do. Because humans are literally, like, probably I'd say teenagers too, but they're, like, some of the most judgmental people. And they hit that really fast too. And, yeah. So, I just have kind of thought of that. And, that sort of brings that to an end. And it's sort of the idea of my little podcast, episode 1, whatever you want to call it, has been sort of music that I dislike, or certain genres I dislike. And I'd like to do I would like to do a subgenre thing for a certain type of genre of music I've listened to, because my friends at work still don't understand it, and still can't understand what the heck a subgenre is, and the fact that it sounds like I'm making it up when I'm using it by its given and secondary name. But yeah, I'll tackle that later. Hopefully I could make it breaking it down, or I could just use like all of YouTube's different videos to explain it to them, because there's like thousands explaining it. Yeah, so that probably ends that. I'd like to say this. Like what the lesson for today is, like what you want for your music, and yeah, that's about as far as that goes. Like what you want for your music, and that you realize that you really are a judgmental person. I'm not actually saying that. I'm kidding on that. But that people can be judgmental pretty fast, and they give songs more than one or two listens, and listen to more than 2 songs by an artist before you decide they're good or bad. Because literally, obviously, people like to say they don't, but they do that anyway, and I have definitely been a culprit of that. So please, I'm not saying go back into their back catalog, but at least know more than 2 or 3 songs or something before that. And that's where I'll end that. So thanks for listening to the Joe H or G podcast, and I'll be up next week with probably another one on whatever I want, because you listen however you want. Yeah, so that's that. Good day, evening, good night, whatever. Goodbye.